Hi, friends. Welcome back to Sorta Awesome. I'm your host, Meg Teets, and I am so absolutely tickled to be joined today by my very dear friend, my longtime co-host, the creator of simplyrebekah.com, Rebekah Hoffer. Hello, and how are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm in a good mood. I'm happy to be here today.
I am so excited about our conversation today because we're going to revisit a conversation that I knew we had had in the past. I knew it. Rebekah and I were voxing off mic a couple of days ago, last week, talking about, hey, what do you want to talk about on Sorta Awesome? And this thing happened, which I'll talk more about later, where I was like, hey, is this an episode idea? Could we do this? And as I was giving her this idea of like, well, maybe we could do this and that and talk about these things, I was like, I feel like we've done this before. And Rebekah, you verified, you fact checked me. We have had, this is a volume 2 of a conversation we have had in the past, right?
It is, but I only discovered that maybe an hour ago.
Yes.
I
Listen,
thought
guys,
I thought to
8
myself,
years in,
I,
yeah, there's been so many conversations.
I was like, I feel like I may have already talked about some of these things that I had planned to talk about today. Let me just do a little search. And what do you know?
Yes.
What do you know? There we
Yes.
are. We talked about it before.
When we were talking about and kind of planning the episode, I was like, I'm almost positive we've done either this conversation, things we wish we had done sooner. Either we've done this or a variation of it. And I can't remember if it was with you or Kelly or who it was with, but you did confirm that it was in what, February of 2019? We had this
Yes.
conversation.
Mhm.
Okay. That does, for what it's worth, feel like a million lifetimes ago for me. I can barely, and I mean this seriously, I can barely remember what I just talked about last week on Sorta Awesome. People will like text me or message me quotes or something and be like, when you talked about this, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, did we talk about that? I can't remember. It's gone.
It's understandable. You've done a lot of talking over
Yeah.
the years.
So many hours of talking. So anyway, all of that to say, I'm super excited to have this conversation. It's like a follow-up. It's a volume 2. It's a part 2. It's a sequel to a conversation we've had before, but it's basically just that. Things that we are like, we can't believe we haven't done sooner. We're so like proud of ourselves, relieved, maybe even in some cases a little embarrassed that it took us this long to do a thing. That we just wish we had done sooner. So we're going to be talking about all of those things and maybe even revisiting some of those things we wished we had done sooner, like 4 years ago, to see how those things are going, thinking back to our past. So we have a lot to get to today on Sorta Awesome. Welcome back, Awesomes, to the show that is all about helping you become smart, strong, and social. If you are looking for a community of women who are here to support you, no matter what age or stage of life you're in, we are so thrilled to tell you that you've come to the right place. In fact, if you want to find that community, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to invite you, I'm going to suggest that you go outside of the podcast app, wherever you're listening to us right now, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or just wherever you listen to your podcasts, leave the app and come and find us in one of our social media communities, because that is where the awesome magic happens. You can come and find us on Instagram, that's Sorta Awesome Show, or over in the Facebook group, the Sorta Awesome Hangout. Rebekah, we are like so close to officially crossing the line to 6,000 members in the Hangout. I'm to the point where like so close, I'm checking it daily.
Oh, are you?
And
Oh, how
I think
fun.
since, yes, which I haven't done for a very long time, even look to see, but we're like so close. And I think that the more we've been talking about how we have these longtime listeners who like literally have been listening for years, and they're like, I finally had to come and see what the Hangout is all about. Like, the more we talk about that happening, the more longtime listeners are coming in and being like, okay, you got me. Like, it's time. I need to join the Hangout.
It
And
is
I'm
time.
so
What
happy
is
for
taking you
it.
so long? Come join the fun.
Seriously, please do. It's a great time of year. It's always a great time of year, but especially as we're winding down summer and we're heading into back to school season and all of that stuff, it's truly a great time to come and join us. And I also wanted to plug and give a shout out. I don't talk about this all the time, but it's really becoming one of my like personal favorite parts of Sorta Awesome, and that is the So Awesome Sunday newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
which I send out to our awesomes every other Sunday. And, it's kind of just like, in case you missed it, kind of a roundup of sort of awesome stuff. I go through the hangout because with almost 6,000 women, that place is busy. So I try to pull out threads that I think are like really notable, really meaningful, really helpful. And I link to those in the newsletter. But then I also go outside of the awesome verse to find links and videos and recipes and stuff that basically I just think people will like. And it doesn't clutter up your inbox too much. It's just every other Sunday. It's low commitment, right, Rebekah?
Oh, for sure. Sign up.
Very low commitment. Yes. So I will put a link in the show notes so you guys can go sign up if you haven't signed up for that. We have so much fun stuff to get to. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. But Rebekah, first, let's go ahead and start this show the way we always do with our Awesomes of the Week. If you're new to Sorta Awesome, Awesome of the Week is the moment in the show where we stop and talk about whatever is making life a little more awesome right now, whether it is a book or a TV show, maybe a movie, maybe a podcast or a product, a recipe, something that is bringing that gold sparkle to your days. Rebekah, what do you have for us this week?
I have some things that are making my little plant babies happy these days.
Ooh, okay. Tell me more.
Okay, so first, I have this plant. this plant, it makes me laugh all the time because when I purchased this plant, I got it online. I've talked about this plant on the podcast before.
Oh, okay.
Because
it's that plant. Yes.
It's that plant. Because I bought it online and I was expecting a plant that would be like bushy, like it would do new growth continuously, like from the pot and get bigger that way. And instead, what I ended up getting is this very like long, lanky plant. I don't know.
Okay.
One of the things I have said on the air is I have learned through this plant to always do better plant research before you buy a plant because you need to make sure you know what you're getting. So I have this plant that just kept getting like taller and taller and taller with absolutely no sign of stopping. And it had gone beyond its support structure. Like it had like a I want to say a support beam. That's not what I mean. Like a stake. There we go.
Yeah, stake. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it had a support stake that was like doing nothing. I mean, this thing was way taller than that. And what I did is I set it like on a windowsill. I have some deep windowsills. I set it in the windowsill and then I took the cord from my blinds and kind of like wrapped it around the plant to kind of give it some sort of support. But like that's just
something.
Yeah, it needed something.
It's maybe not the long-term solution, but hey, sometimes in a pinch, you make it work, right?
Yes. So I was investigating, well, what can I do? I don't want to get just like a longer stake because this thing is like crazy tall. So for less than $10 on Amazon, I bought a bunch of these little plant clips. And when I say a bunch, it's like 100 of these came in the pack.
Okay.
And so let me show you how they work. So it's just this like really small adhesive that you can stick to the wall. And then it has these like little arms on it that you can stick the branch in your little arm. And then you twist it closed.
Yeah.
So that it stays in place. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Now they come in like different sizes. If you have different size stems for your plants, that they come in like clear or black. I have white, I think. And so there's like different options. But this little thing now is against like my windowsill wall, holding my poor plant up because it was struggling so much.
Yes. Okay.
These are not like removable. So you can remove them, but it's not, once you stick them, like you need to like be confident with where you put them. I've heard that if you take a hair dryer to them, that will like soften it up so that you can remove them later. So they're not quite like command strip hooks that you can like easily remove. But Meg, this cost me under $10 and I got 100 of them. I
You
sent
are
out
set for
messages.
life.
Yes. I sent messages to my friends. I was like, this little thing has like changed my plant's life, and I have plenty to give away. So if anybody else needs a plant makeover, a little bit of support for your fragile, lanky plant, I can hook you up with my little plant hooks.
We love it.
I love it. So this is really helping me with my really like tall, lanky plant. But you could also use them with more of like a viney plant. So instead of your viney plant going down and drapey, you could have it go like climb and like go up.
Absolutely.
So you could use multiple ones to like help with that. It reminds me of that aesthetic that Gen Z does with the fake vines like across their bedroom, right?
Yes.
So maybe the more
all about it.
So the more grown-up version of that is perhaps to get like a real plant and then take your little plant hook things and make them go out and around like that. So if you want to, you know, upgrade from the plastic viney things, they have made me so happy. Now, another thing that hasn't made me quite as happy, but I believe is making my plants really happy.
Yeah.
Are some plant cleaning wipes.
You are so good about cleaning your plants. I have seen you do this on Instagram stories, and every time I like feel this wave of guilt. I'm like, I have never once cleaned my plants leaves, and now I feel like such a...
I knew that was going to come out. I knew that by making this my awesome of the week,
you secretly suspected that I'm a bad plant mom.
Well, not necessarily you, but just like either people in general feeling bad about their plant care, or the other feeling of I'm not even dusting my house, Rebekah, like let alone my plants. Like who has the time? Like what is wrong with you? Okay. Now, for the record, I really believe I've only posted about this once on Instagram.
I just happened to catch it. Like I never ever get on Instagram, you guys, but I did log in one time and watch Rebekah clean her plant leaves, and I was like, see, this is why I can't be on Instagram, because now I feel terrible about myself.
That's awful.
I'm teasing.
Okay, but listen, I got these in January, okay? I've only cleaned my plants one time. It is now nearly August, okay? I only did it that one time. So this is not something that you have to add into your regular cleaning routine. You don't need to do it every other week. You don't even need to do it every other month. But I will tell you that your little plants, they like being able to get sunlight and air from their leaves. And when their leaves are coated in dust, they don't really like that as much. So there's lots of different things that you can use to clean your plants. But I do like these because they are kind of just like, probably hear me opening that. They're just like baby wipes. And so it's all just like right there, self-contained, this little moist towelette. And you can just use it to gently clean off the top and underside of your leaves. Perfect. It does not take long. Yes. You just pop in your earbuds. You listen to Sorta Awesome. You walk around your house and clean your leaves. Excellent. And you wow yourself at the transformation, especially people who have like fiddle leaf figs or monstera plants with like massive leaves. It's a satisfying job, I'm telling you. Okay. It's like actually a little bit fun. Okay.
I'm sold. I have both a fiddle leaf and a monstera, and their leaves are dusty. I will tell you that right now. So I'm sold.
You're gonna take a before picture, take an after picture, clean like half of the leaf, and then then you'll be able to see like the difference, and you're just you're gonna love it. It's like a little boost of serotonin. Okay. And then you don't have to do it again for like maybe another year. I don't know, 6 months or a year. And then you do it again. Okay. Next time you're like, I want to feel like I'm making a difference in the world. I'm going to clean a plant leaf. So anyway, there you go. It's bringing me joy. It's bringing my plants joy. My other plant is no longer strangling itself in the cords. Anyway, my plants are happy. So that's my awesome of the week.
I am super, super, super into all of that. I'm not a great plant mom, but I have a number of plants that I have successfully kept alive for well over a year. So I do congratulate myself on that often. So,
Okay, well, I'm going to have some follow-up questions about that later in the episode.
ooh, okay. All right. My awesome of the week. I actually have two. One's more of a bonus. So let me talk about my one that I had planned. And that is a new hair product for those of us of the Curly Girl variety.
Bring it.
This I brought props. I love how we're bringing props now. Now that we're on video, we're bringing the props, you guys. Don't forget we're on YouTube. Sorta Awesome on YouTube. So this is from a company called The Dew, Doux. The Dew is the name of the company. And the product is the Bee Girl Honey Curl Custard. So here is the backstory on this product. In June, Daisy and I went to Tallahassee for her freshman orientation at Florida State. And when I was packing, I was like, we're only going to be there for like 2 nights. Like, it's going to be super busy. I don't think I'm going to wash my hair. You know, I only wash my hair twice a week. And I was like, I'll just wash before I go. No big deal. Rebekah, when I tell you, I was completely, and I mean completely unprepared for how humid and sweaty Tallahassee in June is or was. By like the end of the first night, I came back to my hotel room and I had to wash my bra in the sink with like body wash because my bra was absolutely soaking wet with sweat. And so by the end of, as the second day was winding down, I was like, I cannot stand it. I'm going to have to wash my hair. I cannot stand how sweaty I am. Luckily, there's a CVS like right on campus. So I went over to the CVS and I'm like, you know how like when you're like sort of like frazzled and you're like, I need to just grab something and you're like, you're kind of like out of your element. Now I shop at CVS all the time, but this one had like a lot of different products that I had never seen before. So I ended up just like panic buying this curl custard. I was literally just looking at the labels and I was like, I like bees and honey. I guess I'll try this one. I was so flustered that I was going to have to wash my hair and I didn't bring not a one hair product because, as you know, Rebekah, as a curly girl, like you don't just wash your hair. You don't just wash your hair and go.
I'm already very stressed.
You have to bring the whole. Thank you. You have to bring your product line. It is the shampoo. It is the conditioner. It's the products. It's the brush or comb, whatever you're using. It's maybe like a special hair towel for sleeping in. Like it's a whole thing. So I'm in a panic and I just liked the packaging. So I grabbed it. This purchase was kismet. This is one of the best curly girl products I have ever used. Do you see my hair?
Wow. Yeah.
This is third day hair.
Nice.
This would never happen for me in the past. If I was on my third day, I would be just wearing my hair up. The definition, and when I tell you, Rebekah, at night, I have my trusty, satin scrunchie. I just put it up. I will sometimes do a little like argan oil or something just to kind of tame the frizziness. But I just put my hair up in a little pineapple plop at night. When I get up in the morning, I take it out and I just kind of shake out my hair and it looks like this. I've never had this kind of curly girl experience. I'm so happy. I also love that the Dew is Black and veteran owned. The woman, Maya, is one of the co-founders who started the Dew. She's a cosmetologist who is so passionate about hair, especially hair that's curly, coily, wavy, whatever your hair texture, like textured hair. She's passionate about figuring out the science of what's going to make products work. I can never be without this. I will start stockpiling this because this is my forever love
word
that I found.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yes, Tallahassee. You can buy it directly from the Dew's website, but I obviously found mine at CVS, and I do think they carry it at Target as well. So I do want to say I'm going to give one caveat. So it is a curl custard. The texture is interesting. I'm going to show you. If I can do this without dripping it all over my keyboard. Okay.
Dripping.
So it's in a jar. Yeah. It's very viscous. I don't know. Can you see that?
Wait. It looks more like gel.
It's like gel, but even more serum-y. it's not as thick as a gel for me, I think, in my experience. So I will say the application of it is a little messy. For me, it's 1,000% worth it. I do not even mind a bit. But if you have like texture issues, or if you just need something that is a little, I don't know, tidier, easier to apply.
Do you put it
I don't
on
know.
in the shower?
I put it on directly after the shower. I lightly dry my hair, brush it, and then finger separate it into sections. And then I still just do the old praying hands application.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little goes a long way is the thing too. This was like under $15. I feel like this is going to last me forever because a little goes a long way. And just apply it and do all the other curly girl stuff after that. And I am obsessed. I love it so much. So that's my primary awesome of the week.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel this is gonna sound weird, but like I almost feel a little bit assaulted. Like, as a curly girl, this is such an Enneagram 6 response. But like, as a curly girl who feels like pretty comfortable with the routine and the products I'm currently using, for you to come with this level of intensity of a recommendation,
it's very intense.
I'm kind of mad about it. Like, I kind of feel like, wait, I didn't ask to be bossed around and sent to CVS later today. Like, who do you think you are? I am happy with my hair.
Okay. Look,
I mean,
and
I was until 10 minutes ago.
Your hair looks great, and if you like your routine, you should not change it. But I'm just saying to you that this product exists, and I love it.
Yeah, this is very Enneagram 6 of me to be annoyed by this, but okay. Thank you for the recommendation.
Just like maybe next time you run out of your product, you maybe give it a try. Okay, I'm just gonna say. Okay, my bonus awesome of the week. This is a little unusual for me, but I haven't been on TikTok as much lately. I don't know. It's summer. My TikTok feed is not kid friendly, and yet it's summer, and so I have kids. Like, I feel like kids are around me all the time. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just haven't been on TikTok much. But this morning, I opened it up, and at the very why are you laughing? What could possibly be going on in my TikTok feed?
Oh, yeah, Meg. What's happening there?
No, I'll send you one later, and you'll understand why. A very specific one that you cannot listen when your children are around. Okay. This is very adult themed material sometimes. Okay. Sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
We have the romance book variety, okay, if we're just going to be honest. But this is perfect. What I'm going to share is perfectly family friendly. I opened TikTok. The very first TikTok in my feed is a video of the band Boy Genius covering the Chicks song Cowboy Take Me Away. Now, do you know Boy Genius?
No.
Okay. It's fine. So I feel like this is very niche, so I'm just going to try to explain this pretty quickly. Do you know who Phoebe Bridgers is? We don't have the same taste in music, I feel like. Okay. So it's a collaboration band with Phoebe Bridgers. Okay, it's fine. Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus. And they have these beautiful, and I mean beautiful voices. It's more like folksy, okay, like acousticy kind of stuff. Into that. All right. They definitely do some more like power ballad of the female variety songs, but this cover of them singing Cowboy Take Me Away, which is so iconic for those of us who are Chicks fans from the way back, like that album, that song, this was bread and butter. It was life to me at a moment in my life. And then to hear these women sing this incredible, moving cover of it, it just like made my life complete. And I will put a link in the show notes so that you guys can go watch it if you're into that kind of thing. It's just a bonus. We're going so long on Awesome of the Week, but obviously we both have a lot of words about the awesomeness that exists in this universe right now. So we want to hear what's awesome in your life. Please come and tell us on social media so we can hear what's awesome in your life. We have so many, like, I also feel like, Rebekah, both of our awesomes of the week were like I wish we had done that sooner kind of
Mm-hmm.
discoveries, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's all a theme. And we're going to get to even more of those things when we come right back. Okay, we are back, and this week Rebekah and I are talking about those things that we wish we would have done sooner. Sometimes you've got a thing that maybe someone's been trying to get you to do and you finally do it and it's like this huge revelation. Other times it's a thing you need to do. That was what my thing was that kicked off this whole idea between us, Rebekah. I was voxing with you last week. We were talking about things, and as all of this was going on, I was like, okay, I got to go into Target. That trip to Target was a thing I should have done a long time ago. I wish I would have done a long time ago. So here's my deal. I don't like to sleep without a bra.
Mm-hmm.
This is a personal preference, a sensory thing that goes back as long as I can remember. When I was younger, I used to just sleep in sports bras all the time. Then I entered the childbearing years and was introduced to the concept of nursing bras, which are, they're made for nursing moms, so they're super comfortable.
Yes.
And as previously mentioned, this, I don't know, my baby, who was the last child of the 5 who I nursed, this summer turned 4 years old. But Rebekah, I was still going to bed nightly, strapping on a nursing bra.
Yeah.
That's 4 years old. And so I was like, oh my gosh, it is time. It is time. Because Rebekah, I had worn them to the point where they were genuinely falling apart. Like they had gotten to the point where the clasps on the snaps or whatever, like the hooks on the hook and eye in the back, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They were like breaking off and painful to wear. And yet I was powering through. And for what? I don't know. Well, I guess because I'm cheap when it comes to myself, right? Like sometimes
Relatable.
we are. But yep. My dad and his wife gave me for my birthday a Visa gift card with they were basically like, here's cash, go spend it and get your birthday gift. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take that to Target and see what I can find. And Rebekah, when I tell you the variety of choices that are not, I like bolded, underlined, emphasized, not nursing bras that one could wear for sleeping in. Amazing. So I got 2 from the Auden line at Target, which I have loved everything I've gotten from their Auden line of intimate wear. And then I got 2 from just like Jockey for her.
Yes.
And they're all great. I'm going to put links to the specific ones in the show notes because they are so comfy that I'm like, oh, wait, I can see why people just wear these as bras. They're so comfortable. And okay, I didn't even know I was going to talk about this, but bonus, while I was there in the Jockey for Her section, I saw that Jockey makes period sleep shorts. So they're like period underwear. Okay. They're like period underwear, but they're a sleep short. And so it's almost like a swimsuit bottom setup in the sense that there's like the period underwear, like that feels like regular underwear.
Yes.
But then there's like a little, super, super casual short on top.
Oh, my word.
I was skeptical about this. Oh my gosh. It is a complete game changer. Now, that was $30 for the one pair. And I think that's why I've been a little hesitant on the whole period underwear trend, just because it's like, well, if it doesn't work, it's like they're not cheap. But that was $30 well spent. My life has been changed between the sleep bras from Target, the period sleep shorts. I'm like, why did I not do this so long ago? I don't know, but I'm so grateful to myself that I did finally do it.
Well, I'm going to have to add period underwear to my list of things that I need to just suck it up and buy because I haven't tried them either. I haven't tried them like in any capacity. I have thought to myself that they are something that has been on my radar as I think about my daughter, but for myself, I have not even once made a purchase. What am I waiting for? Am I just waiting for menopause? Like why am I not being kind to myself now?
You need to do it. Okay. I'm going to send you some links to some ones that we got, some period underwear that we found on Amazon. Both of my girls are complete converts. They think I'm an absolute like Stone Age relic, that I don't have a full collection of period underwear. But there's like the name brands that we're all familiar with, but there's some very, very good ones on Amazon that are more, I think, in my opinion, more reasonably priced. So I'm going to send you some links. I'll put some links in the show notes too for you guys,
Oh,
so you can
please
go
do.
check it out. But absolute game changer. So great. So that's the first one on my list. What do you have going on?
Well, the first one on my list fits right in, and that is filling gaps in my wardrobe. So for me, I bought a rain jacket. Previously, my
Okay.
only kind of raincoat was one that I think I had when I was maybe in college. Meg,
Oh,
this might be
wow.
shocking to
Okay.
you, but like my body is not the same size and shape that it was when I was in college.
What? You're kidding. I've never heard a woman say that before.
So this jacket had been outgrown for like a long time. It wasn't super comfortable to wear. I got rid of it, in fact, years ago, and then I never replaced it. And it wasn't even a proper rain jacket anyway. It didn't have a hood, it wasn't very long. And so this spring, from Zulily, I bought a rain jacket. The brand is Jules. They have all kinds of really cute prints, but I'm not so much of a cute print kind of
Fun.
person. So I just went with
Oh,
like a plain neutral.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry to burst your bubble. But I just went with like a plain neutral navy. And I love it so much. It has really big pockets. It has a nice big hood. It has a zipper. It has snap options. It has a cinched waist that I can adjust. It goes below my butt. So, like, things are like fully covered
Cute.
if it's like windy. Along with that, I also purchased some short rain boots because my old rain boots were like knee high, right? Well, not, yeah, like they come up higher. And so sometimes, like,
Okay.
that's too hot. Like if I'm wanting to just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like sometimes in the middle of the summer, I don't need like all my whole calf covered up for with a rain boot because it's like all hot outside. So I
For
bought some
sure.
short rain
Yes.
boots. I'm super happy with them. And I
Cute.
feel like, the message to the awesomes is like just take a look at your wardrobe. Where are the gaps? And I'm not
Yes.
talking about keeping up with
Yes.
trends. Like that's a whole other thing. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
keeping up
yeah.
with trends. I
Right.
mean, what are the things that everyone else seems to have or use on a regular basis that for some reason you just have not tried yet? Other things that I could add to this list for myself:
Yes.
prescription sunglasses. So glad that I have them and that I stopped just
Okay.
putting non prescription glasses on top of my prescription glasses. Okay. That was a bad move that I did for a really long time. I'm glad that that's not my reality anymore. This one is
Yes.
shocking, but a hat to wear at the beach. Like everybody
Oh,
does that.
yes.
Everybody
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that
yeah.
because it's a good idea and like it feels good. It feels good to have the extra sun coverage. It's like good for your skin. Like there's a reason why everybody does that.
Yes.
And like I'm so glad that I now own a hat for the beach. Like I have loved it ever since I bought it.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
supportive
Yes.
flip-flops could go on that list.
For
Lingerie that
sure.
fits can go on that list. Like
Mm-hmm.
there
Yes.
are often gaps in our wardrobe that don't necessarily have to be there. Like just like look around and be like,
Yes.
"Oh, maybe I need a
Mm-hmm.
raincoat." There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I literally need a raincoat, Rebecca. That's one of those things that I just sort of never make a priority to buy for
Right.
myself. And then, like, every time it's raining, I'm like, why don't I have a raincoat?
Yes.
Guess I'll just
Exactly.
grab the umbrella and hope for the best. And that's fine usually in the summer, but like in the fall and winter and the spring, when that rain is cold, why not have a raincoat? Hello. I
And with
need
a
to do this too,
nice
for sure.
raincoat, you can sometimes just get away with just the raincoat. And then you don't even need to mess with the umbrella. Like if you have one with a
Yes,
nice hood, you can just anyway.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm so thankful. I love my raincoat so much.
yes. This is good inspiration for all of us. I know I'm taking it to heart for sure. Okay, the next one on my list is one that my almost 16-year-old daughter, AJ, has been telling me about for a long time. And I simply didn't believe her. But I'm here in the public square to testify to the fact that my daughter was right about this. It is a product, it is something that she found on TikTok, which was my skepticism to begin with. Okay. I cannot tell you how many TikToks my children, my teen girls send me, like, can we try this? Have you heard of this? Like, it's a lot. Okay. It's a lot. So she found on TikTok somebody talking about drinking liquid chlorophyll as a way to help with body odor. Your face looks at how I looked when I first heard of this, okay? Supreme skepticism and also a little confusion. Like, what? Chlorophyll like plants make to survive? It
At
all goes
first,
back.
I was thinking, surely I'm not hearing her right. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Like, surely that's not what she's saying.
No, it's true. It's liquid chlorophyll like plants. See, our whole episode is just like a series of callbacks to to itself because you were talking about plants and also the week. No, but she convinced me to let her try this. We found some liquid chlorophyll on Amazon, and she's been using it for a long time. It comes in a big bottle. It is green when you put it in water. I mean, it's green regardless, but she just like adds it to water and stirs it up, and it's got a little mint flavor to it. Well, this again goes back to when I was talking about being in Tallahassee and just like sweating so much. I do feel like I've had more, what's the word that I can say, more elevated experience of body odor at times this summer. I don't know what it has to do with, if it's hormones or what is going on. But she was like, Mom, I told you you should try this chlorophyll. And so I tried it. It even says on the bottle, like it's like internal deodorant or something like that. And I was doing a little bit of side Googling for this episode. And apparently starting back, like there's been studies done on this. It started with, I think in the early 80s, there was research done and they were using liquid chlorophyll with elderly patients, like in nursing homes that maybe have like incontinence issues, other like just general human body odor issues. And they started using chlorophyll as a supplement for them. And like it made a dramatic difference in their experience of body odor. And so I've been trying it, and Rebekah, dadgummit, it actually works. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I know on a previous episode recently, I mentioned doing the double cleansing under your arms for yourself, maybe even teens who are having a lot of body odor issues, to do a double cleanse, which I do still think is a great idea. But since I started doing the liquid chlorophyll, I haven't even been messing with the double cleanse. Like it's just, I don't know how it works. I don't understand. There's science to it. I'm confident of that, but it has actually been working. And I have told AJ, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you, because this is pretty legit. And I never would have heard of this otherwise. So I'm here to tell the awesomes, check it out, try it. It's not super expensive for a bottle. If it works for you, great. If not, I don't know, maybe you can pour it in your plants. You should do that or not. Don't take that as advice. But it's worth a try. It's worth a try.
I have spent so much of this segment trying to figure out if you were punking me. Like, I just feel like this is the most, one of the most random things that you brought to the podcast.
Do you have your phone on you right now? I'm going to send you a link so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. The brand that we use is from Nature's Way. It's called chlorophyll. Okay. I'm going to just text you the link so you can see that this is legit. I mean, obviously, if it's on TikTok, you know it's real, but see, it says internal deodorant right there in the title. And it's like, okay, it's like $10 for this huge bottle. So I'm here to say, give it a try.
Fascinating. Consult your doctor. Don't sue us.
Yes, please. As with all things, if you're going to ingest it or put it on your body in any way, you should
Yeah.
probably ask your doctor before you try honey curl custard. Like,
Well, Meg, I just love how you kind of gave like a little bit of like a caveat, like, I don't know if you should pour this in your plants, but like maybe don't try that. But like this, like ingesting it yourself, you're like, try it. It works. But like, maybe don't give it to your plants. I don't know.
yes,
Oh, this is
that is very on
fascinating.
brand for me.
Oh, it's so
Okay,
funny.
what is next on your list?
Okay. Next on my list is I had this problem with our van, which is ironic because the last time that we did this episode, I also talked
Yes,
about having some problems with my van. Okay,
this is all very
so
familiar. Yes.
in 2019, when we did this episode and I was complaining about my van, we were talking about some of the issues that we were having with the automatic doors. Well, here to finish out that story, that van caused us so much trouble. It was such a headache.
Mm.
Massive things started going wrong, and we're like, that is it. We're washing our hands with this vehicle. I mean, that's the way it gets, right? Towards
Yeah.
the end of a car,
Oh,
you're
for
just like, oh,
sure. Yes.
it's just time to put this thing to bed. So
Yes.
we got a new van, and the new van, I love the new van. There's so many things about the new van that I love. Well, the
Okay.
new van came with Bluetooth, which is like not that new of technology, but it was the
Oh,
first time that
yeah.
we had a van that had Bluetooth.
Listen, yes, I know. I wasn't until 2020 when we got my 2015 Suburban. That was the first time I had ever had Bluetooth. I was like, oh my Lord, this is what people have been experiencing this whole time. Like, I have been missing out. So I get
Okay,
it. I totally do.
now see, that's where you would think this would go, and that's where I thought that this was going to go, that like being able to connect my phone to the Bluetooth in the van was going to be life-changing in the best possible way. Well,
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
what? It was not a dream come true. It was, in fact, a nightmare. I
Oh no.
hated it. It drove me so crazy. So crazy.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Now, there's multiple
Huh.
reasons. I won't get into the whole spiel of it
Oh,
all because that's just
you're gonna tell me later is what you're gonna do because I am so curious about this. Okay, but keep
okay.
going.
But the biggest, most maddening problem with the Bluetooth connecting automatically to my phone is that when my husband would take the van and drive away, right, from my house, but I was
Yeah, yeah.
still at home, if I was
Yeah.
on my phone, it would still automatically connect to the Bluetooth. And
Oh
suddenly,
gosh.
the podcast I'm listening to, the YouTube video I'm watching, the TikToks I'm
Oh,
scrolling through start playing through the
okay.
van, and I can't figure out why I can't hear anything. Not only that, but
Okay. Okay.
when
Yeah.
he would come home, sometimes then it would do the
Yeah.
same thing. So then I would be like on my phone,
Yes.
suddenly I can't hear anything. Oh, it's because Nate just got home and he's sitting outside in the van.
Okay.
Meg,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
was so infuriating. And I put
Yeah.
up with it for a really long time because I thought to myself, I'm supposed to love this. I am supposed to
Mm-hmm.
love being
Mm-hmm.
able to connect my Bluetooth to my phone. And this is supposed to make my life so much easier and so much better. And instead, like nearly every time I get into the van, I end up disconnecting the Bluetooth, or I'm at home laying in
Yes.
my literal bed and my sound goes out on my phone because it's connected to the Bluetooth in the
Okay.
van. And I lost my mind. I lost my mind.
Yeah. Okay, what'd you do?
This, well, as often the solution to these problems, I googled how to turn the Bluetooth off in the van.
You like rage Googled it. Like you're so mad one day, you're just like pounding the keys as you're looking up how to fix the freaking Bluetooth.
And I turned it off, and I have never once looked back. My life got so much better. My blood pressure went down. I'm sleeping better at night. Like my whole life is better now that my phone does not randomly connect to the van. It just made my life instantly
Okay.
better.
Okay. This is so fascinating. This is so interesting because the next one on my list is also related to my vehicle. Like, we did not plan this out, but I feel like we're living parallel lives. But I will say what the one thing that drove me nuts about my Bluetooth was because Kyle never drives the Suburban and I don't drive his Jeep. Like, I don't know. We have our clear division of vehicles when it comes to that. So I understand how that would happen. The
Mhm.
thing that was driving me crazy was every freaking time I would get in and start my car, it would just start playing random things from Apple Music, from the Apple Music app. And it would just connect automatically. Okay. But except normal people have like, maybe if they have Apple Music, they have either music they've downloaded, like they bought and they've downloaded, or it's maybe like a playlist, whatever. But I'm not a normal person. And since all of I mean, we all know that, but I don't have the normal usage case for Apple Music because everything is connected all through my Apple ID, including my MacBook, which I am recording on right now. So I have randomly podcast files, and a lot of times it'll just be like one side of a conversation. So like it would just pick something out of Apple Music, including random podcast files, and start playing it. There's this one, I don't even know how old this was, of Julie Tepperman, and it's just her side of the conversation. I'd get in and I would forget it was going to do this, and it would just like start randomly playing Julie in the background, and it wasn't even me too. It was just Julie. So
Word.
listen, somebody in the Hangout mentioned this problem, and then somebody was like, "Well, you know what I did is I just like deleted Apple Music off my phone," and I was like, "Oh, you absolute queen! Thank you," because that was a super easy solution. So now I don't have the Apple Music problem anymore. But I could see how your problem would be even more aggravating than that.
Well, that's hilarious because you're actually bringing back flashbacks of like more issues that I was having. And one of them is that it would
Yeah,
automatically start playing a podcast. And for me, it would
yeah.
connect to my phone and it would start playing a podcast. And it was always Laura Tremaine's 10 Things to Tell You podcast. And listen,
Every single time.
every single time. And I love Laura. I love her podcast. I want to listen to it. That's fine. But I don't really need my van like determining that now you shall listen to Laura's podcast. So obnoxious with the Bluetooth. I cannot handle it.
Okay. Okay, that is so funny. I'm so curious to hear from the Awesomes what vehicle Bluetooth angst they've been living with too, because apparently it's a common experience. Okay, the next one on my list does have to do with my vehicle. And this is one of those where, we just had this conversation, me and you, Rebecca, about like, I feel so silly that I didn't know this and I just realized this. It's
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Only I'm so glad that I wish I would have done this sooner. So it wasn't until 2020, late 2020, we got the Suburban that I have. It's a 2015. I had never had a vehicle with so many features on it, like Bluetooth, for example. Also, remote start.
That sounds like a
So
dream.
remote start. Yes, it is a dream. It's so awesome, but I've only ever used that feature in the winter because I hate being cold. So I would religiously remote start my Suburban before I'd go like take kids to school or whatever. So it'd be nice and warm. But Rebecca, it was literally not until like 2 weeks ago I realized it just like came to me. I can use remote start to cool this huge mammoth truck of a vehicle down in the summer when it's 100 degrees outside. I can just click the buttons and it does the same thing. Like, I don't know if it has some kind of temperature sensor computer thingy that tells it like if it's above this degrees, or just like if you leave it on air conditioning when you get out of your vehicle and then you remote start it. That's what it is.
That's
Okay.
probably it. Oh, what was that?
Then it just is like, oh yeah, there's somebody in our neighborhood. They're like, somebody's like, yeah, that's what it is. It's God confirming that Rebecca's right. That's it.
With a car horn? I was like, what is this themed sound effect happening?
I have a sound mixer board. I'm just going to start putting sound effects into the episodes. No, but I wish I would have done this sooner in the sense that I have gone through a number of summers since we've got this vehicle when I could have had the absolute sheer delight of moving from an air-conditioned home into an air-conditioned vehicle in the heat of summer. I'm so silly that I didn't realize this before, but I'm so glad that I did finally
Oh,
start doing this. I
congratulations.
wish I would have done it sooner.
That is a victory. That is a victory.
Okay, I feel
Okay.
like we're about halfway through our lists. Does that feel right? Do we have
Sure.
about 3 left each, or was that my third one? I've lost track, but I think it's your turn again.
Okay. Okay, so another one. This is another like technology one for me. And I feel I feel a little bit like every time that I have one of these technology things, I kind of joke that I feel like a digital grandma in some ways. You know, the fact that I still have a CD player that I use in my kitchen, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I started sharing my location with my husband and vice versa on my iPhone.
Okay. Okay.
And
I don't
I
fully understand how to do this, so tell me
Okay,
everything.
well, I don't know if I'm the one to give you the tutorial of how to do it, but I will say for the longest time, I didn't understand why you would do it. Like I was always
Okay.
I don't care. Like I don't like why do I need to know where he is all the time? Like I'm not pulling it up like a lost puppy, like, oh, where is my husband? Like I just don't really like I just didn't get
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I used to do a lot? Nate's
What's
like
that?
times that he would come home would fluctuate a lot. And so there'd be a lot of times that I would
Okay.
simply like look outside to see if maybe his car was already parked. Or like we're getting supper and I like send the kids, "Hey, go
Yeah.
look and see if dad's home." Because, you know, some it just takes a little bit to, you know, transition from car to house. And
Yeah, yeah.
not that I'm like hounding him to get in the house faster, but just like
Sure.
I'm just curious. Is he there? Is he coming? Do I
Yeah.
see him? Do I see him driving?
Yeah.
Or I would do something where I would like text him or call him and say, "When
Yeah, yeah.
are you on your way home? When are
How
you
close
coming?"
are you? Yes.
Yeah.
Right, right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to do that. If
When you
you
share
share
location.
locations, I can literally just pull it. I feel like such an idiot saying this out loud, but I can literally just pull it up
No,
on my
please don't feel like
phone
an idiot.
and there he is. I can
Yes.
see if,
I
oh,
don't
he's still at
understand
the
how this
office. Oh, he's
works.
driving. It's, Meg, it's amazing.
So, like, I've done this before where I was going on a trip. Like, for example, last spring when I went to Dallas and I shared my location with Kyle. And I was like, okay, share my location with you, like in case, like, I don't know, we have an accident or whatever. I don't know. And he's like, okay, I don't know what that means. And I was like, I don't really know what it means either, but I felt like I should do it. So, yes, let's talk more about this later, like the physical mechanics of it.
Yes.
But I'm so glad you did that. And this is kind of reminding me, like, this is something I've been meaning to look into. Does it, okay, here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably not the person to ask, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
What is
Does it work like does it work like super long distance? Because I'm wondering, is it weird if I ask Daisy before, you know, she goes to school hundreds of miles and states away to share her location with me? Like, could I keep track of where she is as long as she has her phone with her? Not that I want to spy on her, but like, you know, safety reasons.
Yeah,
Is that
I
a
mean,
thing?
yes, I think that it totally works that way. Now, I haven't
Okay.
been like super long distance and pulled it up to try and see, but that was also like the
Yeah.
safety part of it is kind of what started it for us. Not necessarily between Nate and I, but
Yes.
between we gave Grace
Yeah.
her first phone. And when you set up
Oh,
like
right.
Apple Family, like whatever, sharing
Yes.
locations is
Yeah.
a thing. And I was like, okay, well, that's
Okay.
great. Like, I want to do that. And Grace kind of goes running in our neighborhood sometimes. And
Yeah.
so Nate, like, when she's running, Nate likes to like pull up her location and like watch her go around the block and like make sure that she's okay. Like
Oh,
sometimes he just needs
that's
like
so
that little dose of,
cute.
okay, everything's okay. And
Yeah.
then I was like, well, this is really handy. Maybe I kind of want to see like
Yeah.
when Nate's driving home from the grocery store or if he's still there, you know? So
Okay.
I think it does work long distance though too.
Hmm.
Try it.
So if we okay, I just need to look in the phone settings because like I feel like maybe we do already have this all set up and I just haven't been knowing how to look for it. So this is so good. I feel like there are so many awesomes who are literally screaming at their
I
phones right
know.
now trying to tell us how this
I
works
know.
because we're both
Everybody's
sitting
like,
here like, is this what we do?
I know. I have a cousin who's like really into location sharing, and every time that we go visit him for the weekend, they're like, "Share your location," and I'm like, "Okay." why? We're on our way. We'll see you when we see you. And they're like, the location isn't working. And I'm like, I don't know why it's not. Like, okay, like, but we're on our way. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they're like really into it. And like, I don't get it. Or I had like a neighbor, like a young girl who used to location share with a boyfriend that she wasn't getting along with. I'm like, that's weird. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. Turn that off. And she's like, oh, that's just what we do. I'm like, no, don't do that. Anyway, yeah, I feel like
gosh.
Somebody's
wait.
I can
noise. Still hear you.
Okay, that noise was somebody sending me a message that they're on their way. They're buying something from me from Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace queen at work, and she says,
gosh. "Listen, okay."
Anyway, I don't have it out for her. I forgot. Did you forget something too?
No, but that was the next thing on my list.
Crazy. This is like the transition to transition. It's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, can we pause so that I can set this outside?
This is weird. Yes, we could pause. Please do go do that.
I'm sorry. Like, is there something I need to like physically do here? Can I just like run away? Okay.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny, and might be the first time that's ever happened, but it's actually perfect because truly the next thing on my list was going to be I need to talk about. I wish I would have done this sooner, and it's all thanks to you, Rebekah, my inspiration, the guiding light in my life when it comes to Facebook Marketplace.
Tell me everything.
I'm trying to say this quickly because it's kind of boring, except for the fact that something about the momentum of packing a child up and moving her out of state, like it's kind of gotten the momentum going for me to be like, like there's a lot of stuff around here that we need to kind of like get rid of, honestly. She's going through and trying to figure out what does she want to get rid of, what does she want to take. And I like sort of just caught the bug for it. And so I have just been like, I cleaned out my closet and there was like so much stuff in there that I could sell, not even just clothes, like random stuff I'd shoved in there and completely forgot about. We're going to sell AJ's violin that she used for 1 year in school. And then then the pandemic happened and we just kept paying for it. And that now we own a violin that she's played for like 6 months. And it's just been sitting in their room. I'm like, let's sell it. Everything must go. I don't want you to have too big of a reaction to this. I'm just going to say it. You know how I have my book of the month problem where I just keep having my subscription and I just have all these books that I haven't read? Rebekah, I decided I'm finally going to sell all these books. Like I need to get the weight of the unread of it, the unmet expectations of not reading them. I'm going to sell them. And I want you to hold on because I know this is going to speak to you in a certain way. I made a spreadsheet so that people can shop the spreadsheet to see what I have. Because I just want to be able to be like, here's what I have. You tell me what you want. Here's the price for them. You come get them. Like, I've never done this before. I'm going to try it and see if it works. I don't know if you're frozen in technology or if you're frozen in shock.
I'm frozen in shock. This is shocking on so many different levels. I don't know what I'm responding to. It's just like surprising thing after surprising thing. I just can't.
That's why I said I really felt like I needed to prepare you. Like, just hang on. Let me say this whole thing. I thought, I have like maybe 6 or 7 book of the month books that I've never read. Now, in fairness, these books that I put in the spreadsheet are not all book of the month. A lot of them are. But also, Rebekah, you may know from being a blogger for as long as you have, sometimes you just get random review copies in the mail that you did not ask for. You don't know who the author is. You just get on a PR list and you get copies sent to you. So I put those on there for free. Like, these were sent to me. Come get them for free. But there's over 50 books on this list of things for sale.
Wow. Good for you, though. Good for you.
I wish I would have done it sooner in the sense that, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm having trouble processing like you getting rid of books that you specifically picked out that like you wanted to read but you haven't yet read. Like that is messing with my mind a little bit, but I will say that I'm not a big like book owner. I own very few books. So like for me, the act of like decluttering and getting rid of the books, that doesn't hurt my heart quite so much. But I am kind of like, wow, like you picked these books out, you wanted to read them.
But that's the thing, like a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them, I was just like, I keep paying for this dumb subscription. It's not Book of the Month's fault, you guys. This is a me problem. It's not their problem. I have this bizarre sense of sunk cost value, but every month it would come up and be like, oh, time to pick your new book. And I have all these credits. So I not just get one book. A lot of times I would get 3 books, and they're not all books I wanted to read. I was just like, I'll just get it. This looks good. I don't know. Maybe somebody would like this. I don't know. So it's not really all books that I super wanted to read.
Okay. That makes sense.
So yes, I'm just saying, like, you have inspired me so much. You are the queen, the reigning queen of Facebook Marketplace.
Thank you.
I have thought of you so often as I've just been like going around my house, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? We could probably sell that.
It's great. The fun part,
it's kind of fun once you get going on it.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a game. And if you keep like all the cash like in one envelope to be able to see that grow, like that's kind of fun. I like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So did you cancel Book of the Month?
Almost. I'm almost there. I need to burn through, as discussed on Sorta Awesome, now that they have audiobooks.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is it, because this is how I read most of the time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to get these audiobooks. I'm going to get all of these little dollars and cents out of this subscription that I have invested in through the years, which is code for wasted money on.
Sponsor us.
I'm going to get those. They don't do podcast sponsorships, so I can freely speak about this. But truly, like, my days there are coming to a close. And I do feel like selling all of these is like a big step forward in the momentum of just finally being like, I need to cancel and move on with my life and recognize I just don't read books in print hardly ever.
Yeah. So, I get it. Good job. Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So my next one is app related, and it's a callback to my Awesome of the Week. In episode 435, we did a group show with Laura, and it was a little reunion show. And my Awesome of the Week was the app 1 Sec, like 1 second. And I am telling you, I love this app so much. I mean, I hate this app. This app is annoying, but it's doing its job. So the purpose, to recap what it is that it sets up like an automation on your phone that anytime that you, depending on how you set it up. So I have mine set up for TikTok. So every time that I open the app TikTok, it automates to go to 1 sec instead. And it causes a 6-second delay, telling me to take a deep breath, and then asks me, okay, now do you really want to open TikTok, or do you want to change your mind? And I will say that last summer, with the kids being home over the summer, and like I feel like my mental health wasn't in a super great spot, I was losing a lot of hours to TikTok, where I would just use it as escape. I'd just be like, okay, I'm just going to go close myself off in my room. I'm just going to open TikTok for just like a little bit. And then it never turned into just a little bit. And you would get, stuck in the scroll of it all. And this summer, I feel like the amount of time that I am dedicating to TikTok has gone down dramatically because I'm not wanting to open it as often. And when I do open it, I like save it for when I actually want to spend time in the app. It's not one of these, I'm just going to open it quick and then I'm going to close it. Or if somebody even sends me a TikTok to watch, I have to think about, okay, well now do I actually want to open it and watch it right now? Because it's going to be annoying. And that's also going to count as a time that I've opened the app, because it keeps track of all that and tells you like how well you've done and how much you've diminished, how many times you open the app. So I'm much more intentional. I wouldn't say that I'm not scrolling on TikTok, but I'm more intentional, like, okay, now is the time that I'm going to actually open up TikTok and I'm going to enjoy my time on TikTok. And I'm not mindlessly opening it throughout the day.
Yes. That's so good. I'm so glad that it's still serving you so well. I need to do that My app lately has not been TikTok. Like I said, I just like sort of naturally haven't been on there as much because of, my naughty FYP on TikTok. Mine is Reddit. Like I
Okay.
just go over there and I will just like, I will waste as much time as I used to waste on TikTok. I am now wasting on Reddit, just reading random things that are not doing anything for my life. So I need to just do it. I need to put 1 sec on my phone, and then in the future I'll be saying, I wish I would have done this sooner.
Yeah, maybe. You have to try it.
Okay, I have one last one that I want to talk about. And this one I am going to give a medical warning on this because it does have to do with bodies and hormonal systems and those types of things. And this has to do with taking an antihistamine to help with PMS or PMDD symptoms. And kind of ironically, I guess, the way that I came across this approach was on Reddit. There's a subreddit for PMDD, which I have not been diagnosed with, but my oldest child, Daisy, has been. And I got her okay to talk about this. And she doesn't mind talking about it at all. She thinks like more awareness is so good for PMDD, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder. I'm sure a lot of us have heard of this at this point, but if you haven't, it's like worst case scenario PMS, where your mental health just absolutely plummets in that time post ovulation before your cycle starts. So I was on the PMDD subreddit, just kind of like looking to see what are some different solutions, because we have her on some prescription medication for it, but it has not quite been meeting her needs like it once was. And I came across a couple of people, more than a few, talking about how antihistamines like Zyrtec or Allegra, just over the counter antihistamines, can help so much with PMDD symptoms. The medical literature is there in the sense that for some people, the fluctuation in hormones after ovulation can trigger a histamine response. And if you are a person who has developed over time histamine resistance, then you have all of these extra histamines in your body that are causing some of the symptoms to come to the surface that can relate to mental health triggers and other things as well. But all of that to say, I myself have started taking an antihistamine in that back half of my cycle. And Rebekah, it has been a game changer. Again, please, if this is something that's perking your ears up and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to check this out, please check with your healthcare provider. I am not here to say everyone should do this, but I am saying I wish I had done this sooner. Daisy has started doing it. She has noticed a radical difference too. She is still taking, we did talk to her healthcare provider. She is still taking her prescription to deal with it, but the Zyrtec is helping to kind of like, I don't know, just make everything much more manageable for her. So just throwing that out there in case somebody needs to hear that to talk to their doctor about it.
It's
So,
fascinating. I've
yeah,
never heard
that
of
was a little
such.
bit more serious one to end on.
Okay, is this our
All
last
right,
one?
what do you? That's my last one.
Okay, I thought you said you had 6.
I might have lost track along the way, but we're kind of running. I'm going to
I
have to like
know.
finish up pretty close to 2. So, well, 3 for you. So,
Okay. Okay, so my last one is kind of hard for me because
okay,
it is like home repairs and home decor updates. And this one is
okay,
hard because I know that these things like come at a cost, right? And we don't always
okay,
have
yeah,
the money to afford upgrades that we want. And I really feel like
yes,
contentment is super important. And I think that in the US in general, we can really struggle
yes,
with contentment. So I'm a big advocate for just choosing to be content with what you have. However, I will say
yes.
that when I look around my house, there are some things that I have done that I am like, oh my goodness, I am so glad we did this. This looks so much better.
Yes.
Maybe why didn't we do this earlier? Some big
Uh
examples
huh.
of this can be found like in my living room. So the most
Okay.
offensive one is that for the longest time, we did not have a legit TV stand. And instead, what we were using was
Okay.
just like a hand me down end table. And our TV was pretty small. And so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
It fit just fine. But it was just like
Hmm.
on a little end table. The end table, it wasn't attractive. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
clunky. It didn't look good, but it was given to us for free. It served its purpose. We used it. We used it for years and years and years and years. And then finally, I bought like a real like TV stand with some cabinets and some shelves, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. I'm so
Oh,
thankful that I did it. And
yes.
another reason why I'm like saying this is because like I'm also like talking to me, because we're currently looking at several more upgrades that need to happen. Like our
Yeah.
living room carpet is shot. Our couch is
Mm,
heavily worn. We need paint touch-ups like all throughout the house. We currently
yeah.
have our island in our kitchen is literally a table. Anybody who has ever seen me do some sort of like time lapse cleanup of my kitchen, I do
Yes.
them quite a bit. There is a legit like table sitting in my kitchen that doesn't match the
Hmm.
decor of my kitchen or the aesthetic or the colors or anything, but it was gifted to us when we had no
Yes.
money.
Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
and like I've tried to find something to replace it with. I'm kind of picky. I don't anyway, all that to say, I can justify till the cows come home like why I drag my feet on these things. But I know that as soon as we are on the other side of all of this like decision making and in financial investing and like the mental energy of it all, I'm going to love it so much, and I'm going to wish that we had done it sooner.
Yes.
But
So
also
good.
contentment is important, and sometimes you need to save money. And so
Mm,
like it's like such a tough
yeah.
balance. So anyway,
It
we
is.
have a lot of things we need to do. We've already done some things I'm thankful for. I'm just telling myself, Rebekah, just keep taking steps forward because you're going to be so glad you got it done.
Yeah. I agree. It is a fine line. Contentment is important, but at the same time, like that boost of just like positive feeling you get when you see a thing that was bothering you for so
Mm-hmm.
long and then you replace it or whatever, and then just like you're just like so happy. I think if you can elevate your contentment, I think that's a worthy investment too.
And
So
sometimes just
that's my thought
redirecting
on
what you're
that.
going to prioritize, right? Like maybe you don't have the money to do absolutely
Yes.
everything, but you can be like, okay, well, for this season, we are going to prioritize spending money
Yes.
in this way, because we all have to spend our money somehow,
Yeah.
right? So we're going to prioritize
Yeah. Yeah.
spending money
Yeah.
in this way. And maybe that feels icky with some other things, but that's okay. That stuff can wait. We're going to prioritize this right now, and you're going to be so happy that you did it. So that's why I just keep telling myself
Yes.
as I am freaking out about needing to make all the decisions and spending all the money.
I totally get it. I absolutely do. Rebekah, you went back and revisited the Sorta Awesome Past time capsule and
Yes.
checked out some things that we were talking about back in 2019, lo, these 4 years, probably close to 4.5 years ago, that we wished we had done sooner back then. And we thought it'd be fun to just like pop back and see how did all that turn out? So, what were some of the things you found that were
Yes.
interesting?
Because as I was listening, I found myself wanting to ask you, oh, hey, do you still do this? Are you still doing this? Whatever happened with this? And so, that's the perk of the job, is I get to
Yes.
actually ask these questions. So,
Mm-hmm.
first on my
Yes.
list for you, you mentioned that you started folding your kids' clothes Marie Kondo style, specifically the twins' shirts.
Yeah.
How's that going?
That was Meg Mama 4. Meg Mama 5 has literally gone back to the thing of just like, I don't even fold clothes at all. Like I just tossed them into I moved their clothes into just big bins
Okay.
because I was just like, nobody cares if these are folded or not. Everything goes in a bin. So I'm on the other end of the Marie Kondo spectrum at this point. I still
Fantastic.
admire a well folded t shirt, but no, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that for my children's clothes nor for mine. So
Okay,
there's
well,
that.
one of them for me that I talked about was revamping my laundry routine and realizing that there
Okay.
could be an in between of doing all of my laundry in one day versus doing laundry one load every day. But I could change that up.
Yeah.
That is still so monumental in my life that I wrote that down to
Yeah.
share today, not realizing I'd
4
already
years
shared
later,
it.
4 years
Yes.
later, it still feels new.
I had notes that I wrote down fresh today of how I was going to say it. Well, guess what? 2019, Rebekah said it way better than 2023. Rebekah could be saying it. So just go
Oh
back
my
and listen,
gosh.
and it still all applies. It's fantastic.
Yes. That
Okay,
is hilarious and I love it.
another follow-up question for you. You were trying out being a plant mom for the first time. You
Yes.
bought yourself and Catherine a prayer plant. Do you still have the prayer
Yeah.
plant?
Okay, no. The prayer plant did die. I will say
Okay.
that. The prayer plant died. But,
Yep.
like I said earlier, I have these thriving ones that I got at Trader Joe's. All of my Trader Joe plants, every single one of them have lived. I don't know what that says. They've not only lived, but my Monstera is massive compared to when I bought it. So that one died. It sacrificed its life so that the rest of my plant collection could live.
Amazing.
I'll show you guys on social. I'll show you. It's huge. I love it. I'm so proud of it.
Okay, another follow-up question. You had joined Goodreads for the first time. Are you still on Goodreads, and do you still enjoy it?
No, I bailed on Goodreads at some point. Also, I do know it for some reason, and this is something I do need to figure out. There's some setting that I have chosen where when I buy a book on Kindle, it shows up as on my Goodreads as like I'm reading it currently. So whether I buy it, Kyle buys it, one of my children buy it. Like if you look at my Goodreads right now, it is chaos.
That's
and it
terrible.
makes me just want to delete everything and
Yes.
pretend like I've never been on Goodreads in my life.
I co-sign that. Do that. I still am not on Goodreads, so that's my update.
Okay,
From
do
that
it.
episode,
Do not do it. Stay off.
Also from that episode, that's when I announced that I took my birthday off of Facebook, and I shared all the reasons why.
Oh, yes.
That was a good decision for me. I
Yes.
will say, to this day, I am still fully happy that I do not have my birthday on Facebook. The one source of tension that still remains is that my husband still doesn't quite understand and still likes to post like a happy birthday message to me on Facebook, like publicly for like the world to see, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose. And we're still working through that.
Yes.
But I still 1000 recommend the freedom and the joy and the relief that comes from releasing that obligation of having your birthday on Facebook. Give it a try.
You've been a trailblazer. You have been a trailblazer in that. I know so many of the Awesomes have been like, you know what? It never occurred to me that I could do that. They also have hidden their birthdays, and it can be such a game changer for sure. So I'm glad you kept it that way. Good for you. Okay. This was so fun. So fun to talk about the things we wish we would have done sooner. Hopefully it is inspiring you Awesomes as you're listening to be like, what is that thing that I'm just like, you know what? I should just do this thing. We want to hear about it on social. Rebekah, speaking of social, where can we find you all around the web?
My website is simplyrebekah.com, and you can find me all over social media at simplyrebekah.
Okay, you can find me at Sorta Awesome Meg on social media. Come find me on Threads because I've been posting, for me, a lot more on Threads than I post anywhere else. So that's been really fun. You can find the show by searching Sorta Awesome wherever you are on social media. Search for Sorta Awesome. We would love to find you there. Awesomes, thanks so much for listening. We'll see y'all next time.